This is Border Crossings. I'm your host, Larry London, and on today's show, we welcome singer-songwriter Megan Davies. Originally from a small town in Pennsylvania, Megan relocated to Nashville to pursue her dream of a career in music. Since that time, her YouTube page has achieved over 200 million views. Her music has been streamed over 3 million times. Megan studied songwriting in college and in 2013 became an internet sensation by performing her cover versions of hit songs until she released her own EP, Bad Poetry, in 2017. Her new single is Moonlight, and she joins us on today's show to perform the new single and discuss her plans for the next album. It's Megan Davies on today's Border Crossings.
It doesn't matter.
Hi, welcome to Border Crossings. My name is Larry London. In our studios today, she's on tour promoting a brand new single with over 200 million views already on YouTube. In fact, she's called a YouTube sensation. Megan Davies is here in D.C. Welcome.
Happy to be here.
It's great to see you in person. I see you on YouTube, but now I got you in person.
Here I am in person in D.C. Yeah,
congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
And you were just telling me, how many subscribers to your YouTube channel?
I think it's like 1.2 million or something like that. My grandma actually writes it down every single morning, so I should probably call her. She writes down the number every morning.
Grandmothers are so helpful, you know.
I know, they are helpful.
So how long have you been doing this? You're very young, and I know you had an EP out last year, Bad Poetry. Now, how long have you been in the music business?
So it's been about 5 years since I started my YouTube channel. I think we hit the 5-year mark this past summer. Mm-hmm. And from, the first sort of mashup that I released, it was, I think the first video got like 5,000 views, and then I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then the next one got 10,000. It was a slow grow, but it's been about 5 years, I guess. It's been a really fast journey, though, it seems like.
Now, when you started posting your songs on YouTube, were you singing covers or were you doing your own original stuff?
I was only singing covers. I was writing a ton of original music, but I was always really afraid to release. As I started building this fan base around covers, I became more self-conscious about my own writing, and I was like, oh, are they going to like my own writing? So for about 3 years, I didn't release anything. And finally, it got to the point where I was like, okay, I have to put my own music out there. Like, it's time. And that's what that EP was last year. It was actually a New Year's resolution of mine. I was like, I need to get these songs out there. Like, it needs to happen. And it was scary, like, because, if someone criticizes me for a cover, it's less personal than if someone criticizes me for my own words, so to say. So, but I did it, and then ever since, the community on YouTube was really supportive, and then ever since I've been, releasing singles, and we'll probably release another album in the next year or so.
And what is the YouTube channel name?
It was under Megan Davies 711, but I think it's just under Megan Davies now. So it's been shortened, but. I have. It's me, and then my little sister sings a lot with me on the channel as well.
Jacqueline, is that her name?
Jacqueline, yeah. Yes, and so she's like a reoccurring guest on my channel, and then I live in Nashville currently, so I'll do collaborations with other singer songwriters that I meet in town that I just think would be really cool on the channel. So it's kind of cool. I'm kind of the curator of everything, but I do have a lot of guests, and it's a good excuse to work with other people despite being a solo artist myself.
So what was it like for you? You put your first video on YouTube, and a lot of people were discovered on YouTube. Justin Bieber and many, many people got discovered through YouTube.
Yeah.
But there you all of a sudden have a couple 100,000 views and stuff. It must be surreal. Oh, gosh, they want to watch me sing.
Oh, yeah. And when it first started happening, I had just graduated college, and I was working a very low paying job in the music industry. It was entry level. I think I was making like $8 or $9 an hour, and barely making ends meet. And that's when I posted the first video that started getting views. And I remember all of a sudden, because you used to get an email for every comment, and all of a sudden, this happened over like an hour, I think, for whatever reason, but I was getting like comment, and all on my phone, and I was at home in my apartment by myself, and it was like late at night, I just had like the most crazy like excitement. I think that it just got, you know, just from working super hard and, you know, having this moment of like, oh, this might be it. This might be my way out into doing what I really want to do. And I like always remember that one night. And it's funny, like the views weren't super high at that point, but it was just, I saw a path. I saw like a door open. So it
Was that the plan from the beginning, was to go viral and become
No.
a viral star? Or did you have another path that you had laid out? Because before there was YouTube, artists had to make it other ways.
Yeah, I know that was never the path for like that I envisioned for myself. I'm actually typically very camera shy. I would have never thought to, you know, be like a YouTuber. But I was definitely always creating things. So even when I was working a full-time job, I was always like making recordings and posting them on SoundCloud and Tumblr. And I was just always really happy to make things and share them. And for whatever reason, the video side of things is what clicked. But I couldn't, if you told me 10 years ago, this is what worked out for me, I wouldn't have believed you at all.
We're talking with Megan Davies, who's promoting a brand new single. You guys came to play. First of all, let's meet your accompanist.
Hey.
Yeah, this
TJ.
is TJ.
Nice to meet you, TJ. And what's the song you're going to sing for us first?
I'm actually going to sing a brand new song that has not been released. I just wrote
Hot off the presses.
Hot off the press.
First time, international,
First,
global?
probably first time on the radio at least.
Okay.
Yeah, we just started playing it on this tour, and it's been feeling really fun and cool. So it's called Learning You.
Learning You. All right. Here's Megan Davies live on Border Crossings.
It's the second day, and we're staying out way too late. But baby, that's okay, we got no other plans. And you put your lips on mine, and we've been drinking wine. Let's do this one more time, just because we can. One more lesson, I'm still guessing. So much I don't know, I'm still learning how to kiss you. I'm still learning how to sleep with you in my bed. Come on, show me where these hands go. Move on faster, real slow. Show me how to make you never forget. I'm still learning you, learning you. One day I'll know your signs, reading between them lines. And when I catch your eye, I know what you're trying to say. One day we won't need words, I won't be shy. I bet you that we'll miss that awkward silence when things get quiet and we take a deep breath so I can make it last. I'm still learning how to kiss you. I'm still learning how to sleep with you in my bed. Come on, show me where these hands go. Move on faster, real slow. Show me how to make you never forget. I'm still learning you, learning you. Baby, you can learn me too, and all the ways I move. What gets me in the mood, just because we can. I'm still learning how to kiss you. I'm still learning how to sleep with you in my bed. Come on, show me where these hands go. Moving faster, real slow. Show me how to make you never forget. I'm still learning you, learning you, learning
Very nice. Very, very nice. Megan Davies, you have a lovely voice.
Thanks very
nice,
much.
sweet voice. And so you've done folk music, you've done pop music. What lane are you most comfortable in?
Oh man, I think I can kind of hear the different phases I went through growing up. Like I went through a big classical guitar phase actually. I studied classical guitar in college. So I think I use, a lot of finger style technique like that. And but yeah, folk is, I just love the acoustic guitar. I play Martins, which are made in Pennsylvania. So I've always been deeply connected with folk, and I love pop music. I do a lot of pop covers. So I think it's become this, this mix of a lot of different things. So.
You also studied songwriting in college, which I think is interesting because songwriting comes from a creative place. So how can they teach that in college?
Right.
You either have it or you don't have it.
Oh, totally. Yeah, no, it's, I always describe it because it is a very like new major. There's not like a ton of schools. Like most schools don't have a songwriting major. But I kind of compare it to like an art major or something like that. Like, can you teach it necessarily? No, but you can put your 10,000 hours in during that time and be surrounded by people who are as passionate about the craft as you are. And those two things alone will help you get better. It doesn't really apply to much, like as far as, if I go play a show, they don't say, "Do you have a degree for this?" But I think it was really helpful to have the time and the space to write songs that were bad, to write songs that were better, and learn to critique myself. Yeah.
Are you a bad poet?
Yeah, of course.
Your album's called Bad Poetry. I thought, okay.
Yeah, it was called, I actually, I have a song called Bad Poetry. And the reason I picked that title was, like I said, I was really nervous about posting my own words. And they felt really personal to me. And I think by just calling it the whole project Bad Poetry, it took the fear away. It was like the whole idea of it was like, who cares if all we're doing is writing bad poetry?
You lowered the bar.
Yeah, I lowered the bar
poetry,
for myself.
Okay.
Exactly. But it at a certain point, it's like, as long as you're being honest, like that's the most important part. And if someone, thinks it's bad, then that's okay. And it was learning to understand that, because in reality, no one is not like, everyone's not going to love everything. And I think that's something you have to learn to accept as like an artist. And at a certain point, you just have to, make what feels good to you and trust that it'll translate to the right people. So
now, coming from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania,
yeah.
Was it a big change, a big adjustment moving to Nashville, and all of a sudden here you are in Music City and with all the big names and the expectations?
Yeah. Absolutely. Nashville is it was an incredible experience moving there. I mean, when you're in a small town with a small music scene, it's really easy to think that you're like the best at everything. And then you go to Nashville and there's so many people who are so much more talented than you. And I say that like fondly, like I look around and I'm just like, there are better guitar players than me. There are better singers than me in like every way, shape, and form. So you kind of become, in a way, less competitive about it. And you have to just look at yourself and be like, okay, what is my identity in all of this? And I think a lot of people have that identity complex when they move to Nashville of like, okay, who am I? If I'm not the best singer, I'm not the best guitar, like who am I? And, what am I doing? And but I think it's important to have that. It's important to realize what differentiates you from the person next to you, and because it can't always be I'm the best singer or I'm the best guitar player. So it definitely, it's a little humbling going to Nashville, but I think it's a good experience for most people who do it.
Have you sorted out? Are you a better songwriter than a singer, or a better singer than a songwriter? Have you figured it out? Who am I, as you just say?
It's a process. I think I've learned to to trust my skills. I know things that I'm good at. It's funny. In my junior year of college, and I don't know if this was, if this is online anywhere, but I actually had surgery on my elbow, so I wasn't able to play for like 8 months. I went from practicing 5 hours a day. Like I thought I wanted to be a guitar player when I moved to Nashville. I was very studious about it, to not being able to practice at all. And potentially in, having a small risk of not being able to play the way that I used to play ever again. And it really changed my perspective about playing music in general. I think up until that point, I was slightly competitive. I was trying to be the best at something, and then I realized that wasn't what I enjoyed about music at all. Like, I just loved playing music. I loved being on stage. I loved that connection with other people when you perform for them, and that was a huge just perspective change for me. So I've become less. I don't measure myself as much, I'd say now. I do view it as a craft, and I look back every year and I'm like, okay, am I improving? Are my songs, does it feel like they're more real, that they're more honest every year? And for the most part, I think it's been like, yes, every year. So, it's just kind of focusing on yourself, I guess.
All right. Well, we're focusing on Megan Davies today because she's here with us performing live. And so what are you going to sing for us next?
I'm actually going to do a song that we released a few months ago as a single. It's a song called Doesn't Matter. And it's about how as you get older, there's certain things in life that become less important. So, yeah.
All right, Megan Davies.
Okay, here we go. Held my head low as I walked through the hallways of flockers and teenage strokes. And I'm broken, second guessing the clothes that I left my home in. Boys don't cry and girls stay young. Adults don't lie, they can't be wrong. Now I can't seem to find my place, but I'm closer than yesterday. Wish I figured it out when the whole world felt so strange. That it matters until it doesn't matter. Oh, it matters until it doesn't matter. Yeah, I loved him the way that I learned from the movies with beautiful stars. But I didn't, I just thought that I did in the back of his car. Boys don't cry and girls stay young. Adults don't lie, they can't be wrong. Now I can't seem to find my place, but I'm closer than yesterday. Wish I figured it out when the whole world felt so strange. That it matters until it doesn't matter. Oh, it matters until it doesn't matter. We're all just skin and bones, trying to make it better. We're all just holding on, dying to fit together. And it matters until it doesn't matter. Oh, it matters until it doesn't matter. No, I can't seem to find my place, but I'm closer than yesterday. Wish I figured it out when the whole world felt so strange. That it matters until it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter anymore.
Very nice. Lovely. Megan Davies is our guest, and this is Border Crossings. And so you have opened for Jennifer Hudson and you've been, I guess, performed for Hugh Jackman. How did that happen?
Oh, so the Hugh Jackman story. Well, it was the whole cast of The Greatest Showman. So the movie that came out last year. It's one of those random things that come down the pipeline when you're on YouTube, which is really funny because when you make YouTube videos, it's very much a solitary experience, as opposed to being on tour and you're meeting a ton of people and it's very social. But for the most part, I'm just like in my house editing video. And I got an email from 20th Century Fox, and they asked me to fly to LA and meet with the cast and do a video on my channel to help promote the film. And the way we did it, I covered a song in front of the entire cast live, and then they actually critiqued me, and it was all positive. But
Wow.
I got to meet the director of the film. I got to meet the writers, and then I actually got to go to the premiere as well. So it was one of those just crazy things that YouTube can kind of connect you with, and I couldn't say no. But it was, I mean, I've never done anything related to movies, or I've never been on a film set before, and being able to go to like the Fox Studios lot, and I just wandered around like big-eyed, like
In your golf cart, right? You
oh
got
my
to-
gosh, it was so cool. So it's definitely the most surreal experience I've ever had. And as far as Jennifer Hudson goes, that was actually, it's funny. I didn't even realize I was opening for her until I was walking on stage and she was walking off stage, because it was.
Did she open for you then? In that case,
yeah,
if she
it
was
was.
finishing
Yeah,
and you came out, then-
basically. Well, she. Well, it was this corporate event in in Texas, and we. It was for I think it was for Chick-fil-A actually, but it was like a
You don't
big,
even eat meat.
It was a big. I know, right? I'm a vegetarian, so that's.
so you're the face of
I
Chick-fil-A.
probably shouldn't
but-
say that. No.
The poster
Vegetarian.
child.
Oh no, yeah, no. It was I think a year and a half ago, I think, but it was a huge it was actually in an arena, it was a big concert for all the Chick-fil-A family.
Nice.
And
was it on a Sunday?
No, it was not. I don't think. But yeah, she was walking on stage while I was walking off stage, but I had no idea she was even there. And I was like, did I just open for Jennifer Hudson? I think I did. And then I immediately went out into the crowd and just participated, and I was like a fan, so it was cool.
And so, what done some charity work with the American Red Cross, and you had participated in an anti-bullying campaign or song.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I don't do a ton of promotion. The Greatest Showman thing was the one thing, but I don't do a ton of promotional things on my channel. It's mostly just music. But there have been a few causes that have been close to my heart, and so when we've talked to the organizations about doing something, it made sense. So we did a mashup, my sister and I, of I See Fire and Burn, and we did a whole PSA about having a fire safety plan with your family, and knowing what to do, if you wake up in the middle of the night, or if your kids wake up in the middle of the night and there's a fire, and just having that discussion with your family. So we did that, and with the Red Cross, and we did a video for the American Cancer Society. A member of the Black Eyed Peas had beaten cancer, and he released this song. Taboo, yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And he'd released a song about, I think it was called The Fight, and about his journey, and it was all promoting the American Cancer Society. So we teamed up with them and released a mashup of that. So yeah, it's there's been some key strategic things. And then as far as the bullying goes, it's funny, so It Doesn't Matter, the song I just played, it was, it's, I talked about my high school experience, but
So you were bullied?
I wouldn't say that I was bullied to the extent that there are people bullied today. I definitely felt ostracized at times. But I do think it was more of a of having I had depression in high school, so I I think it was more of an internal feeling than anything else. But I definitely felt detached in a sense, and that's what I wrote that song about. However, when I started performing it live, I started getting people coming up to me and telling me their stories of, and a lot of them had to do with bullying. I thought it was interesting, and we made a music video for it earlier this year. The director, he told his own story. We were like, okay, well, we can tell my story that I tell in the verses, or we can, just tell a universal story. And we decided to just tell a universal story that could apply to anything. And it ended up actually being his story, which, he was overweight and was always afraid to put a shirt on or take a shirt off at the pool. And, so we actually, we casted a bunch of kids, and we shot a music video about it, and about this sort of like evolution of a kid gaining the confidence to just be himself, take a shirt off, and have fun with the rest of the kids in the pool. And yeah, so it did kind of become this anti-bullying message. It wasn't originally what I intended the song to be. I wrote it about my own experience, but it's been really cool how it's been able to be applied to that. So
what's the next project for you? Because, Bad Poetry was a year ago. You have the new single, which means there must be a new album in the works. So what's in the future for Megan Davies?
There's definitely a lot of new songs. Last year, it was really important to me to come out with like a cohesive body of work. And I think this year I wanted to approach the originals. I wanted to start to approach them the way that I approach my YouTube covers, which is, I write them and I put them out, which seems like, oh, that's a simple idea, but it's amazing how like that doesn't happen really ever. Everything's, typically in the music business, very planned out. But we're in like this day and age where really I can make something and it'll be live on Spotify in 4 hours, or I can put it on YouTube immediately. So this year I really wanted to just kind of approach it as this, when I'm excited about something, just get it out there. And, so yeah, I have a lot of songs in the works, and they're just periodically coming out this year. And then I think what we'll probably end up doing is release, a special sort of like physical collection of all of those. But yeah, I think it's a sign of like the day and age of being a musician. It's kind of a cool time.
But it's got to be difficult though, because there's a visual aspect to the music now.
Right.
You can't just put a great sounding song that you recorded in your sweatsuit.
Yeah.
When you're on video, you can't put the same video out every time either. You can't. Here's another Megan in the living room and with her sister video.
Right.
You have to. We're going to do something different, and then it becomes expensive.
Oh, it's in a way it's easier than ever, and it's also more challenging than ever. I've started to embrace more of the idea that you have to collaborate with people naturally. You have to find the videographers that you love and have conversations. I used to try to do everything myself, and I still do a lot of the video editing. I'm still very like involved with how my channel looks and everything that's put on it. But yeah, I mean, I think it's becoming more collaborative, especially with the visual artists in the community. So,
all right, you're going to do a new song for us?
Yeah, this is a song called Moonlight, actually. We just released it this summer, and it's a song about my weird prom night.
Weird prom night. We're going to listen closely. Megan Davies, here on Border Crossings.
We got lost in the moonlight, getting high in the backseat of your friend's ride. One song in and we were gone. It was prom night. It was alright. We were alright. Pretending we were older, black ties and dresses, miles away from sober. Never learned that lesson. How far can we go? Baby, Baby, it's you and me, writing history. No one has to know right where we're supposed to be, writing history. Oh, 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 oh. We were running from a disco, watching worry slip away out the window. Feeling sexy, got no nerves, not a bit, no. What do we know? Only we know. Pretending we were older and time was frozen, so we'd be hungover. The sky was golden, how far can we go? Baby, it's you and me, writing history. No one has to know right where we're supposed to be, writing history. Oh, 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 oh. How far can we go? How far? Oh, how far can we go? How far? How far can we go? How far? How far? How far can we go? Baby, it's you and me, writing history. No one has to know right where we're supposed to be, writing history. Oh, 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 oh,
Nice, nice. It's called Moonlight?
Moonlight.
It's a beautiful song.
Thank you.
Sounds like a great time at the prom.
Yeah, it was.
We won't get into it, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long story.
It's a long story. It's a long prom. Megan Davies is our guest. Okay, everybody wants to know now the 200 million views. What's your channel address? And how about the Facebook and the Twitter and all that? How can they find you?
So YouTube is youtube.com/Megan Davies. Instagram is instagram.com/Megan A. Davies. And Facebook is facebook.com/Megan Davies Music. And really, once you get to one, you can kind of find the others. But
and website?
Yeah. Website is megandaviesmusic.com.
Megan Davies. And don't be confused with Megan Davis.
I know.
Because I was reading all about this wonderful Megan Davis, and I thought, wait a minute, she's not.
There's a lot of Megan Davies in the world, too. It's like, that's why I've had to, like, be creative with my channel.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Do you have a name for the future album in mind, or a couple names that you're kicking around?
I normally pick the name like very last minute.
Okay.
It needs to come to me. I got to think about it.
All right. Well, you come back when you do put the album up. We
would
want
love to.
have you in here again.
Yeah.
All right. Once again, the website is megandaviesmusic.com. All right. Well, thank you very much, both of you, for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Megan Davies is our guest. Moonlight is the name of the new single. My name is Larry London. This is Border Crossings.